Welcome back to Team Talks. Just 3 points now separate Arsenal, Man City and inform Aston Villa. We can hear from all three camps now, starting with Gunners boss Mikel Arteta.
Always in any Premier League match, and especially against a team that obviously is fighting against results. I know the manager really well and how he's going to push and get the players ready to do that. So from our side, we're going to go full gas from the beginning because we know what we have to do.
Results haven't changed, so that's disappointing because we all want to try and have an impact in terms of results. But I do feel there's a lot of good work that's gone on, and I feel like we've got a really good understanding now of the group and the lads. So that's really positive as well. But ultimately, and what we're judged on is the results. So that's the bit that we're frustrated by, I suppose.
The table and the top of it is very, very exciting. It's close all over. But are these the three contenders, Sean? What do you think?
You would have to say so. Yeah, you would have to say that the way the table is set up. But we know what the Christmas period's like. And as you've just seen the table, there could be a lot of movement over the next 3 or 4 games and it could rotate and change again. So at the minute, because City's like up there, I'm going to say, yeah. But if City was down, I'll maybe not say the same thing.
And City are breathing down Arsenal's necks now because of what happened last week. A last-minute winner conceded there by them to Aston Villa. Emi Buendia off the bench and onto the score sheet. Is this where they fall apart? Is this what everyone is waiting to see?
I wouldn't necessarily say fall apart. I think and thought Villa were the better team across the 90 minutes in that game. But at Villa Park, on Villa's day, they could do that to anybody. They've done it to City in title winning form, so we know how good they are. So you've got to give a bit of credit to Villa. But at the same time, how do Arsenal bounce back? Wolves on the weekend is the perfect game to do it for them.
They've already, as you mentioned at the top of the show, done a fair bit of that in midweek, but yet another centre-back partnership for them in that game.
Yeah, it's not easy, all these changes, but I do think the way that Wolves' season has gone so far, I think they'll still feel like they've definitely got enough defensively. The relationship and the leadership issue and the communication at the back, you can see that's not quite as it was before the injuries. But I do think it, like Sean said, it's the perfect antidote to what happened last weekend. Yeah,
it was the 4th different centre-back partnership in the last 5 games. How important then, if they are to challenge for this title, if they are to finally get over the line, to have Gabriel and Saliba back?
Yeah, it will be massive. I don't think it's maybe Saliba's like too soon. I think it doesn't seem like he's too far away, but perhaps the weekend will be too much of a risk given the opponent. Yeah, their partnership is phenomenal. They're such a big part of why Arsenal finished where they did last season. And if they do win the league this season, that partnership will also play a big part.
Yeah, 70% win ratio, as we could just see there with both of them starting. It drops to 33.3 if neither of them play. So that is huge. Of the 3 involved in that title race, as you've now confirmed for us, when you look at the fixtures this weekend, Man City, Crystal Palace is probably the toughest one.
It's more than tough. I think City, I wouldn't say always struggle against them, but the games are always difficult. And I think the way I saw City play in the week could kind of play into Palace's hands because there was a few times.
Welcome back to Premier League Friday. Now the race to be Christmas #1 is hotting up after leaders Arsenal were beaten by Aston Villa last weekend. It means Mikel Arteta's side have only won 2 of their last 5 league games, and there are fitness concerns around Declan Rice, Yuri Timber and William Saliba, to name just a few. The good news though is they face bottom of the table Wolves tomorrow.
The form table for the last 5 games, given those problems you've had and the results you've had, still you've only won 2 in 5.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow will change. We win tomorrow and then it's a different one, and then in the last one we are the best, or in the last 2 or in the last 3. So we try to win every game, and that's the only thing that we can do in terms of being as consistent as possible.
All right, finally for me, it's about time we revisited the supercomputer. We love the Opta supercomputer. It's been a while.
Surprise me.
Villa, chances of winning the Premier League 6%. City, 20%. Arsenal, 72%.
So in the last 5 games or in the total? I'm just asking.
Since the start.
Since the start, till the end. Yeah. Okay.
Is that right? Is that about right? Do you think?
I don't know. The computer says it was the same that the computer said the last 5 games or the next 5 games. I don't know. The only thing that we can do is increase the probability of winning the next match by doing the things that we do really well and preparing the best possible way.
I do love it. It's a Premier League show. We're talking about the big results, and both you guys just said great hair.
He's got great hair because usually, even though Arsenal are flying, usually when you're a manager, your hair starts going all over the place. You lose the game. His looks even better. You know what, they lost to Villa.
Most people's hair is better than mine anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I would have
didn't want to say that.
His hand off like his hairline.
Guys, look, obviously, you know, we were talking about it, and that gap is now at 2 points between Man City and Arsenal. And you look at those results of last season. Of last weekend, sorry. How do you view that loss to Aston Villa? Is it something for Arsenal fans to be worried about, or is it a bit of a blip?
I don't think it's much to be worried about. I think we were just talking about there, if you're missing Saliba and Gabriel, like, you've got to be a little bit unlucky to be missing the pair of them at the same time. And also, Aston Villa, let's get it right, they're the informed team in the Premier League at the moment. And I thought it was a very even game, and you nick it at the end there. For me, it's more of a worry because you then start talking about the 2 points, like you said, Roman. You start talking about the 2 points, not necessarily regarding that result, but you're just more worried about the 2 points. But again, perfect timing to be playing at Wolves if you're an Arsenal fan like you. But it's a perfect time because I don't think it's panic stations. And like I said, I think you've got to give credit to Unai Emery and the Aston Villa players because they're a top team. Yeah,
on Villa, Clinton, do you see them as genuine title contenders right now?
Well, they got the next 4 or 5 games are tough because they play Arsenal again at the end of December. Do I see? No, I don't see them as title contenders. But you could ask me that question in a month's time, and it can be totally different. At this moment in time, they've got a very good squad, and they got injured players coming back. But can they do it? I think even Unai Emery said no, not at the moment. Even after that, and I know managers are going to be a bit, cagey and sit on the fence and not say we can challenge. But I just think at the moment, Villa to finish in the top 4 is more realistic than actually winning the Premier League at this moment in time.
Yeah, but they do have got a good squad.
They have it. But if I ex-Birmingham City player here and said, yeah, Villa are going to win, I can't go back to but
it's partially the reason why I asked you.
No, but I'm joking. They have got a good chance. You thought Leicester was going to do it, so you can't write Aston Villa out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But back on Arsenal, just very quickly. There's obviously an injury concern. They lost a lot of the forwards at the start of the season. Now, kind of midway through, they seem to have lost. Mosquera, Jurrien Timber's got kind of doubts around him. Calafiori is a bit up and down. Saliba, Gabriel, as we say. How much of a difference is that, to this side? But also, is it kind of showing that maybe Mikel needs to really look at how he kind of rotates these players?
Well, I think he recruited really well, and I think that they are actually ready for this type of injury crisis, albeit the 2 centre-halves are a massive loss. But I think that if you lose attacking players, I think like we saw in Bruges, Madueke comes in, produces, Martinelli produces. I think that in all areas, I think they're covered really well. But losing 2 centre-halves at the same time is, like I said, unlucky. I think that they've got a squad big enough and good enough to deal with injury crises. But 2 centre-halves at the same time is a little bit different.
It's totally. I mean, they ended up with Christian Norgard playing centre-back against Bruges in midweek. But do you think now that he's got that bigger squad, it's almost for him as a manager, he has to learn how to rotate it, how to deal with that amount of bodies?
Yeah, of course, because you remember last season when Saka picks up that big injuries because he's playing too much football. Then now you've got a player like, not saying he's going to come in and be just as good as Saka, but at the moment, Madueke, when he's given his opportunity, he's grabbing it with both hands. It's like on the left-hand side when you got Trossard, who started the season on fire, and then you can bring in someone like a Martinelli. You've got Eze and Odegaard competing in the number 10 role. I think they got competition for places. I think there's probably Gabriel and Saliba, you can't afford to miss them, and also Declan Rice. I think if Declan Rice is out, who comes in and fills Declan Rice? Declan Rice can do everything. For me, one of the best midfielders around at the moment. But I think in other positions, they're covered. When Gyökeres was injured, Merino comes in and scores goals. They got Jesus coming back. So Jordy's right. The way Mikel Arteta has recruited this season in Arsenal, every Arsenal fan's happy. You've been smiling since I've come in at 5 o'clock. Everyone's happy.
Hey, there is still...
Hold on a minute. Did he just say he came in at 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Was it 5 o'clock?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, 5 Never once.
Yeah. I will say though, as an Arsenal fan, and there are a lot of Arsenal fans very nervous about a Man City side that seemingly are hitting their stride. The game against Real Madrid, that is one of the toughest places to go to, the Bernabeu, to go and get a result, and they did it quite comprehensively, let's say. Do you think they're finally getting into their groove now?
Yeah, and I think because of what's happened previously in previous seasons, you have to be worried about a Man City when you've got a manager that's probably the greatest manager to walk the earth, in charge of a team that is maybe the best Premier League team we've seen. When they start getting a bit of momentum, you have to be worried, and because of what we've seen before with Arsenal, and sometimes that they can maybe start capitulating towards you. You can say the word. You have to be worried, but I know we're joking about it, but you have to be worried about City when you have a manager that's in charge of a team like that can go on a run of 10 straight wins and things like that. I know, similar to Villa at the moment, you have to be worried about them because they're that good. And like you said, they convincingly beat Real Madrid in the week away from home, and I think they're only going to get better as well.
Okay.
Mikel Arteta faced the media today ahead of Arsenal's Premier League clash with Wolves, offering important updates on several key players. The biggest talking point was the fitness of William Saliba, who Arteta said could return if he comes through training later today. The defender has not trained fully in recent days, so the final decision will depend on how he looks in the last session. Declan Rice is also being monitored closely after recovering from illness. Arteta described his situation as a matter of days, insisting the club will not take unnecessary risks if he is not fully ready. Jurriën Timber and Leandro Trossard remain doubtful, with their availability also depending on late fitness tests. Arteta stressed the importance of freshness and smart rotation, especially during this busy period of the season. He highlighted how closely the medical team is tracking training intensity to avoid recurrence of injuries that have troubled the squad. Despite the uncertainty, Arteta expressed confidence in his team's rhythm and mentality. He expects a tough match against Wolves, who are known for their disciplined shape and dangerous transitions. For Arsenal, the final squad will depend on what unfolds in training, making today's session absolutely crucial.